Konnichiwa, everybody. I've tried to alter my pronunciation of that thanks to Jace. He's corrected me. It's not konnichiwa, it's konnichiwa. Or something like that. Check out Jace in Japan's videos. Absolutely amazing. One of the best things I've seen in years, honestly. TV show style production. If you like your Japanese culture and anything Japanese, you gotta watch it. It's absolutely brilliant. On Retro Games channel. I'll put a link in the description. Do yourself a favour. It's the best thing on YouTube at the moment. Go watch Jace in Japan. Right, pickups. Seems ages since I've done a video. So busy. So busy. A lot of problems going on at the moment. Health problems for family members. Taking up so much of my time. And then I'm working on the garage. Whatever, you know, every bit of spare time I've got. Past 3 weeks since I've had the garage empty. All my spare time has gone into working on the garage. So I finally found a bit of time to film a pickups video. Long overdue. So behind with pickups. Honestly, I had sort of almost caught up, and I'm so behind again now. That's the bloody door. 1 second. Right, we're back. Not a moment's peace, honestly. Wasn't even for me. Yeah, pickups. I was getting close to catching up. Now I'm way behind again. It's going to take me ages to get through them all. So, we'll crack on. As the title suggests, the gold has returned. The much promised gold. This is part of it. I'll do the next part in the next pickups video. So it's not all gold, don't get me wrong, but there's some lovely golden titles here, courtesy of my and everyone else's friendly gold dealer. So it's kind of interspersed, it's not all, you know, together, and it's mixed up with some other stuff, which I've got a few sort of thank yous to say for, really. So without further ado, we'll crack on with the first one, which is the Famicom remix for the Wii U. This is the Japanese version, obviously. This didn't come out, pal, unfortunately. It's one I've always wanted. Ever since I got the Japanese Wii U, it was one I was trying to track down. Finally managed to find one on UK eBay. Not got around to trying it yet. The battery's now dead in my Japanese Wii U tablet because I never use the bloody thing. So I've got to change that. But it's fairly, you know, you don't get manuals really. But yeah, I've always been curious to try this. It's like a series of mini games based on original Famicom titles. So chuffed to add that one. I'll get around to playing it at some point. You know what I mean? Then the next one, this came about after I bought my Japanese 3DS console, because it's obviously region locked. You can't play Japanese games on a UK console. So once I got the Japanese one, that allowed me to buy this, and we've got Umihara Kawase, one of a series of games in this Umihara Kawase series. Started life on the Super Famicom, and I don't think, up until the Switch anyway, I don't think any of them came out anywhere outside of Japan. I might be wrong, but I don't think they did. But anyway, the SNES one's quite expensive now. I think it's around 100 quid for the last time I seem to remember looking. I've not got that version, so you know, the EverDrive will do. Again, you can get it on the PSP and the DS and the Switch. PS1 you can get it. I've got the PS1 version. Had it off Edda. However, this is the 3DS version. They're all more or less the same kind of a puzzle platformer. Really quite annoying, but in a good way. It's really difficult controls because you're basically negotiating the level and the various puzzles within the level, and you have to move around by sort of hooking your fishing line onto various platforms to pull yourself up. It's really difficult to get to grips with, but when you do, cracking game. Right, this next one, I bought this for the box because I love the artwork. This is box porn, without doubt. It's box porn, and it's Amiga box porn. And I had to buy Buggy Boy, and as you can see, it's like in a dual case, double cassette, like you'd find a Spectrum or Commodore or Amstrad title. Which this is the only one I've got like this for the Amiga myself. There are obviously others, but yeah, absolutely love Buggy Boy. And this is a different variant because the standard box, the arcade cab image in the middle of the box, is much smaller. And when I saw this with a much sort of bigger artwork filling more of the box, I thought, oh, gotta buy that. Oh, so, you know, don't get too excited, lads. I know. And what a game. Absolutely love Buggy Boy. That's the back. It turns out, I found out after I bought this, I think this is part of a larger collection. It wasn't like sold on its own in this form. This game was within a set with some other games, as far as I can work out. But regardless, absolutely stunning. I mean, just what a game, Buggy Boys. And the Amiga version is really good. Amiga and 64, I'd say, are the best versions. Right, next up we've got a PS1 game. Now this was dirt cheap. I'd never heard of it. I was just randomly browsing and I thought that looks interesting, and the name kind of attracted me to it because I'm a big fan of the Denture to Go games. I won't bore you if you don't know what they are, you know. But anyway, I found this one called Jet to Go, and I thought, well, surely it must be like Denture to Go, you know, driving trains. This must be like flying airplanes. And it was, and it's really good. It was very simplistic, but really good. It's if you're old enough to remember the Krypton Factor, and I'm sure you know quite a few of us are. That round in the Krypton Factor where they had to land a plane. This is a game version of it. Taking off and landing an aeroplane. Simple. But what a game, and it was like less than a fiver, I think. Really like it. That's Jet to Go. I'm sorry, I'm not going to have time to put footage up for any of these, unfortunately, the way things are at the moment. I'm just rushed off my feet. So apologies for that. I do like to try and put the footage up because I think it makes things better, but unfortunately, just not got the time. Right, this next one is the first of the thank yous. And we've got Space Invaders on the Japanese Saturn, and the thank you in this case goes to my old mate James at the Game Zone Birdroom, because he sent me the link to this because he knew I was after it, and on eBay, and somebody listed it, you know, for a really good price. Can't remember what it was now, it's been quite some time ago, and I bought it anyway. So cheers James, much appreciated. Really, I mean, it's Space Invaders, obviously. Just basic Space Invaders, and I think there's 3 or 4 variations of it. But it's a good game. You know, really pleased to add that one to the Saturn collection. First Saturn game I've bought in some time, actually. Right, we've got another PS1 game now, and this is one I remember playing back in the day, thinking it was really, really good, and it's always been one I've wanted to sort of pick up again. For whatever reason, I've never got round to it. And then I saw this one listed cheap. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a budget label version, like a it's not platinum, but because it's Japanese. But the original release is a full image. It ain't got this nasty silver border around the outside. I think the back is the same because I'm sure I remember the the original case not having any screenshots on the back. So it's only the front slip that's different. Like I say, it should be a full image on the box, so you know, I'm not crazy about it, but if I ever see the original release, I'll just upgrade it. But it'll do for now. But yeah, towable. Just come with the spine card as well. Really cracking. Well, at the time it was cracking. Square Enix sort of take on a 3D one-on-one fighter like sort of Virtua Fighter Tekken. But at the time, the graphics on these games, Towable 1 and 2, absolutely stunning. And to be honest, I think this still plays quite nicely. Towable 2 definitely didn't come out PAL. I'm not sure if the first one did. I think it... I'm pretty sure it did actually. But I don't think the second one did. So I'm chuffed to have that one back. Like I say, it's really quite good. If you know, for an early 3D fighter, looks really nice. Right, next up we'll do another thank you. Now I've picked up two of these actually. Now this, I've got to say thanks to Nick, because he showed it on, I don't think it was his last pickups, it might have been 2 or 3 pickups videos ago. This is how far I am behind with pickups. And he sort of recommended this because they were really cheap on eBay, and so I thought I'll try one myself. Bought one and thought it was great, so I bought a second one. And then I think I looked later on and they'd all sold, because at the time these were about 15 quid, I think, around that mark. And it's basically a Saturn form controller, but for the PS4 obviously, but sensational for playing like one-on-one fighters on the PS4. So much better than that nasty D-pad on the PS4 controller. I mean, it's better than the PS1, 2 and 3 controllers, but compared with like a Saturn controller, you know, it's awful. So this gets around that problem beautifully. Absolute, they're made by Power, and the front flips off, and they give you 3 different fronts, so you can have it blue, black or white. Really cracking product. I honestly can't recommend that enough. If you're playing fighters on a PS4, fantastic. And then for those of you with a V2 console, this works amazingly well on the V2 as well. So much better than the shitty pads that come with it. Honestly, for 15 quid, I don't know if you can still get them for that now, but they are sensational. So yeah, not more games than Nick Berry. Go check him out. I'll put a link, hopefully, if I remember, to Nick's channel, and James, Games and Birdrooms. Nick does some amazing pickups videos. What an amazing collection he's got. Go check him out if you haven't watched him. Go and watch him and sub to him, because he's fantastic. So again, cheers Nick for that tip on that. We may as well get the other thank you out of the way, and this is a thanks to Eddie, because he sent me the link to this. This is going weeks and weeks ago, and it's an Outrun 2019 like plug and play console. I've never seen. I'd looked when he sent me the link. I looked and I couldn't find any sold listings, and there were no others for sale on eBay at the time. And this is actually an American release, I think. So it's hard to know, because although it's got the American sort of age ratings, it's got Mega Drive, but it's just got Mega Drive imprinted over the Genesis box. So whether this is a PAL release or it's just come over from America, I don't actually know. But you know, just for the Outrun collection, it was an absolute must. And I think I'm sure I ended up winning this for a £5. Box is in reasonable condition. The unit works. Unfortunately, there's no internal packaging. I think there would have been like a bit of a blister pack type thing inside to hold it. So it's a shame, but not the end of the world. For a £5, you can't go wrong. It only includes, you know, there's only got the one game on it, Outrun 2019, with this kind of steering wheel-esque style controller. It's not bad. I dismissed Outrun 2019 back in the day, but to be honest, I don't think it's a bad game. You know, it's not Outrun, but it's not a bad game. Outrun 2019. It's got some nice music in it. So, again, cheers Eddie for the link. Again, I'll put a link to Eddie's last video in the description below. I'm sure if you're watching me, you're watching Eddie, but if you're not, go check him out. He picks up some amazing stuff as well. Right. Next up, now this was off eBay. I can't remember how this came about. It's been so long. But I know a few of the guys in the WhatsApp groups go on about this game, and I think I saw it. I don't know. I think somebody was talking about it for some reason. Might have been something to do with the High Scorers Arcade Club or Arcade Archive or somewhere like that. I can't remember. And I happened to just look for it on eBay after that, and I came across this copy, and it seemed a really good price, and it was sealed. So I'll buy it now, and it's Time Pilot for the Japanese PS2. Unfortunately, this could send me down another rabbit hole, because there's a lovely collection of these games on the Japanese PS2, and it's kind of a collection of old school, sort of early 80s arcade games, more or less. And there's quite a few of them. There's, I don't know, 10 or 12 of them. Some are really quite expensive, some not so. But they're really cool boxes, and you get like an image of the original arcade machine on the front. This being Time Pilot, obviously. But there is a name for these. I can't think what it is. Is it a Rocky? Something like that. Anyway, they're beautiful things, and that come with obviously a manual, and you get like a little card. Then you get some bonus sort of audio discs and another little pamphlet, which this is sealed. I'm not opening that. Telephone card is that, I think. So yeah, chuffed to get that. Like I say, there are more in this set which I kind of would like, but you can only do so much, can't you? Absolutely skint at the moment. But I've never really played this game, to be honest. And like I said, I'd heard people talk about how they loved it, and you know, the high score and all that. So I was quite keen to have a blast. I do really like it. I just can't. I feel that the control lets it down. I don't. If it only controlled, sort of, if the plane went where you pressed on the D-pad, I feel it would be much better. But I appreciate you've got to get used to it. It's the way it controls. But you know, the plane sort of moves left and right as if like a real plane. I don't know. It just feels like it would have been a better game had it been like basic 8-way directional controls on the plane. But I need to spend more time on it, really. But it is a really good game. So you know, I can understand why people like it. It is great. It's just got, to me, it feels like strange controls, but I'm sure if you spend enough time on it, it will be awesome. Right, this is where the gold comes in. So, going back a few months now, we've got quite a beautiful gold haul off Craig again. This is approximately half of it. I'll show the next half in the next video, and there is a couple of items which somebody's buying me for Christmas, so they'll be like 2 months down the line. However, we'll crack on. The first one we got, I wouldn't call this gold, if I'm honest. But it's for the PC Engine CD, and it's Hawk F123. I've never played this before, but I would like to expand my PC Engine CD collection, ideally, but that you know, they're not cheap, so realistically I'm probably not going to get that many. But this is especially shooters, because they are mega money. And this is a shooter. It's a horizontal shooter, kind of in a like a warplane type, like, you know, like that. It's kind of like UN Squadron, I suppose. But it don't get very good reviews, this. Yet, to be honest, I really quite like it. It's quite basic, quite slow, but that suits me, because, you know, I'm shit at shooters, so that's ideal for me. And for a cheapie, like I say, I don't think it's too bad at all. Right, then we've got a PS1 title. Now this is quite a nice title. We've got R-Type Delta. I was keen to get this, really. I mean, obviously R-Type's well regarded. Sacrilege, I know, but R-Type's never been my favourite game, to be honest. I'm still not crazy about it, if I'm honest. I can appreciate it, but I don't know, there's something about it, it's never quite clicked with me. However, I am chuffed to add R-Type Delta to the collection, because I've never played that one before. And time's been so limited, I haven't played many of these at all. It's just, I couldn't tell you the last time I played a game. Life's been that busy. Honestly, just crazy. Right, next up, now we get into some. These next two are, well, it's tasty to me, but it's not like costly tasty, if you know what I mean. It's a fairly cheap game, and I had to have this for the old. You see it above my bonds, the Raiden shelf, or the Raiden shrine. I was missing Raiden on the Super Famicom, so when Craig said he got this, I thought, yes please, put my name on that one. Not the best Super Famicom box in the world, if I'm honest, and it's not, I mean, it's probably one of the worst conversions of Raiden as well, to be honest, but that said, I do really quite like it. I don't think there's a bad version of Raiden, to be honest. Now this next one, I would class this as gold. This is a stunning game, absolutely brilliant. And we've got Super Aleste again on the Super Famicom. Sensational game in my opinion, Super Aleste. It's an absolute beauty. And they're in nice condition. I thought there was a bit of, is there a bit of fade on this one somewhere? No, I don't think there is. I must be getting mixed up with something else, but yeah, chuffed to add that one. Unfortunately, this isn't particularly a cheap game on Japanese. It's not like crazy, but it's certainly not a cheap game. But a stunning shooter, vertical shooter. Absolutely love it. Fantastic. Chuffed a bit to add that one to the collection. Right, now the rest are all Mega Drive. So if you're not into Mega Drive, or you don't want to know about Mega Drive, see you on the next one. If you do like Mega Drive, happy days. Right, I think we'll go in kind of ascending greatness, if you like, or ascending gold, if you like. The first couple, they're not gold, they're just titles I wanted. This first one was an upgrade, Space Harrier 2. I did already have this, but mine was in rough shape. This one's in nice condition. And this again, we're going back to box porn. This is one of these that spreads across the entire cover. You know, and it's kind of like, well, it's like a scene from the actual game, isn't it, to the playfield. I mean, I'm not saying it's the best Mega Drive box ever, but it's nice, isn't it? And as I say, it's in lovely condition. So I was chuffed to add that and upgrade my copy, which I've since sold mine. This next one, this is a terrible game. There's no two ways about it, but it's quite a nice box. and so I thought, for the money, I've got to have it. And we've got Super Thunderblade, and then again, this is one of these covers that spread across the entire box. I mean, it's a beautiful cover in my opinion. It's a great box. Again, it's in nice condition, but it's, again, you can see it's like the helicopters flying across a cityscape. I mean, so much better design than the PAL cover. Again, in lovely condition. Awful game, shockingly bad. On the Mega Drive, awful. The PC Engine port's probably the best one, I'd say. I'm not convinced the arcade's that good a game, to be honest, but at least it did look quite nice, and it had a crazy cab. But again, for the money, I was chuffed to have that one because it is such a nice box, and it's classic Sega arcade, of course. Again, much in the same vein, but this is quite a good game. We've got Afterburner 2. I've never had the Japanese version of this, I don't believe. Again, it's another nice box. It doesn't spread onto the back, unfortunately, this time. Again, lovely condition. But classic Sega arcade. Felt I had to have it in the Mega Drive collection, so chuffed to add that one. Now the quality going up now, probably. This is another nice box, I would say. We've got Thunder Force 2. I've never really been that crazy about the Thunder. I mean, I was never into shooters really, so it's kind of a stupid thing to say. But when I tried Thunder Force 2 back in the day, I just thought it was that weird kind of original first level, weird top-down scrolling in all directions, and I thought this seems a bit crap, and I never bothered with it again. So I'm looking forward to playing this more, because there are obviously more traditional levels after that. Again, it's in lovely condition. The back of the box ain't as nice as the front, but now I am into shooters. I felt I needed Thunder Force in the collection. And so of course we had to get Thunder Force 3 as well. Now this is probably the Thunder Force game I've spent most time playing. I mean, I haven't spent loads of time playing it, but of all the Thunder Force games, this is the one I've played most. And personally for me, I think this one is my favourite of all the Thunder Force games that I've played. And again, it's a lovely box, this one. The back is slightly nicer on this one. Not in quite such nice condition, but it's fine for me. I'm not a mint collector. This is a really good game in my opinion. Very, very uncommon on that weird PAL version that came out. It was just a rebranded Genesis. Was it Genesis one? Very, very hard to find anyway. It's more or less only a Japanese and an American release. But chuffed to add Thunder Force 3. That is a really good game. But then of course I had to add Thunder Force 4, didn't I? You can't have 2 and 3 without 4. So had to add 4. Now I've never got on with this, to be honest, when I've tried it. I find the backgrounds too busy. It looks amazing, don't get me wrong. It's a great game, I can appreciate that, but it just feels to me like there's too much. It seems hard for me to say because I love bright colours and, you know, otherworldly, like, you know, escapism colours, and I don't want it looking realistic. But this, to me, just feels a bit too bright, and I don't know, my eyes can't seem to process the amount of brightness that's going on the screen, and I don't know, it just stops me from getting on very well with this. But again, now I've got it, because I've never owned this before, I am looking forward to trying it, and it is, again, a lovely box. These Thunder Force games go up in price by numbers, really. 2's the cheapest, 3's getting up there. 4, unfortunately, especially Japanese, is not a cheap game. Again, it's in lovely condition with the warranty slip. So Again, absolutely chuffed to add that. Right, the last one today. You've made it to the end. Well done for those that are still here and awake, hopefully. Now this one, this is a big hitter. This is true gold, you might say. I'm not mess about. It's Bare Knuckle 3. I don't know what. I've never really liked this game, if I'm honest. I don't think it's a patch on number 2 or number 1. I remember playing it when it came out and just feeling disappointed. And I don't think I've never owned it since. But then when Craig had it for sale, and you know, and I've got Bare Knuckle 1 and 2, I thought I kind of like number 3 just to so as I'd got them all really. I thought if I don't buy it now, I probably never will. So I decided to pull the trigger and say, yes please, put me down for that one. I mean, it's a lovely box, don't get me wrong, and it's still Bare Knuckle or Streets of Rage, and it is a nice box. This kind of does sort of spread across the entire box. I mean, the PAL Streets of Rage artwork's nice, but I do think the Bare Knuckle artwork in particular is stunning. So it's amazing to have the set. I mean, this still looks amazing. But I just felt, look, and it's still good to play. Don't get me wrong. But my overriding memory of this is some of the backgrounds were bland, and I thought the music was shit compared to the first 2 games, and that kind of spoilt my enjoyment because you know, the music in Streets of Rage is just a massive part of it to me, and I felt the music in this was, in comparison, shite. That said, I'm delighted to have it in the collection, and I really, you know, want to play it again now. So I am chuffed to bits to have it, and it looks sensational on the shelf next to the other 2. So there we go. Let me know what you thought of all that lot. Hopefully the next pickups won't be quite so long because I've got quite a lot to get through. I just need the time to do it, and I'd really like some time to play these games. But anyway, thanks for watching. Check out those other guys in the link in the description if you haven't already, and I'll see you shortly, all being well. Sayonara.